You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for The Testament of Anne Lee. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. The Testament of Anne Lee is a 2025 musical drama directed by Mona Fastfold. The film tells the story of Anne Lee, the founding leader of the Shaker movement, who was proclaimed as the female second coming of Christ by her followers. The film depicts Lee's establishment of her perceived utopian society moving from England to the United States, while depicting the quite unique Shaker movements of song and dance for worship. The film stars Amanda Seyfried, Lewis Pullman, Thomasin McKenzie, and Christopher Abbott. So I was able to check out The Testament of Anne Lee at the 2025 Toronto International Film Festival. Now, this had just recently gotten a ton of buzz. It had set the musical world ablaze, started all of the Oscar conversations, so naturally, I had to make a point to check this out here in my time in Toronto. I'm so glad I did because I actually loved The Testament of Anne Lee. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, far and away, actually, my biggest positive is music. A blanket statement, music. The score used in this film is absolutely phenomenal. These hymns were realized in such an amazing fashion to suit the narrative. I thought the sound design that brought these songs to the forefront, the way that music was used as an actual storytelling device through this film was amazing and honestly such an engrossing way to tell this story. The singing was spectacular. The dancing, the choreography was all amazing. It really made for a very, very visceral watching experience that I was not anticipating. I really did not think I would be waiting for some old traditional religious hymns to hit Spotify leaving Toronto, but that's where we are. I did also think the acting was fantastic, particularly Miss Amanda Seyfried, who is a revelation here. Maybe quite probably, actually, her best performance to date. She is spectacular. She sounds beautiful, but she's also given a lot to deal with when it comes to this character, bringing this figure to life, and she absolutely nails it. Lewis Pullman is also great in this film. I wish he had a little bit more to do. But in his corner of this film, he holds it down so well. Christopher Abbott is fantastic, as always, as is Thomasin McKenzie. Really, the entire cast delivers. I also thought the cinematography was stunning. This really dark palette to bring this story to life worked beautifully. The direction is also quite good. The editing style was amazing here. The direction by and large was fantastic, aided by absolutely stellar editing work. Really, almost every technical aspect nailed it for me. So then, what didn't work so well when it came to The Testament of Anne Lee? I would say my biggest issue is that the film feels a bit long through the third act. Once we make the decision to move to America, there's a stretch there that I was like, all right, we have really slowed down the pace of this storytelling. When are we moving on to the next kind of moment here? Also, the musical moments in that section didn't work as well. So until we started ramping back up with the music, with the movement of the story, there's a dip, and you could definitely feel it in the runtime. But in saying that, I also think the film easily could have been longer because we introduce quite a few sub-stories that get no development, particularly with Lewis Pullman's character. Honestly, his character, by and large, is one of my bigger problems of the film. We are given a romantic subplot for him that's literally shown one single time. And it's a pretty big one that really could have immersed his personal story into this story of feeling like an outsider, feeling persecuted by the world because of your religion, because that's what a lot of this film really delves into. And I think his character was ripe for commentary, and they do absolutely nothing with it. It's never brought up after the one time we see it. Also, there's not as much room for feeling for these characters. For a film in which I'd say you can definitely feel the length, it's interesting that we're just kind of moving through this woman's entire life, and in some ways, it lacks too much of a personal touch. You feel for them as people, particularly the things that are done to these people. How could you not feel for them? But on a more personal level and their personal strifes, there's a little bit of a distance there. But overall, I really, really did enjoy The Testament of Anne Lee. I got my Christopher Abbott booty fix. I got some Lewis Pullman skin in here. Okay. And I loved that this provided such an actual visceral experience in the movie theater, giving us this beautiful juxtaposition of how this religion that was so physical and actually sensual, very touchy-feely on each other. It was so much about the physical embodiment of worship was devoutly against sexual acts. And the film really does put those two contrasts together in a beautiful way. So if you're looking for a little bit darker of a musical, if you're looking for a historic film that provides some amazing technical aspects, some amazing film, and you're down for a visceral time at the movie theater, I think you need to watch The Testament of Anne Lee once it gets released. This is sure to be in the conversation this Academy Award season, so you're definitely going to want to check it out. So, that was my review for The Testament of Anne Lee. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Testament of Anne Lee? Let me know all of your thoughts either in that comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!